You know how the software on our phones and computers just speaks our language? It feels natural, right? But have you ever stopped to wonder how it learns? Well, it's not magic, and it's way, way more than just running text through a translator. It's this hidden world of design, cultural detective work, and technical problem solving. So today, let's pull back the curtain on the complex art of software localization.
Okay, so imagine this. You're deep in your work, you click a button, and boom, this error message pops up. Processus sauvegarde annulé. Literally, that means backup process canceled. Right. But so what?
And that's the whole problem, isn't it? Did the system crash? Did I click the wrong thing? This kind of vague, robotic message leaves you totally confused and, honestly, a little frustrated. You're left staring at the screen, wondering if your data is gone or if you just made a simple mistake. But now, check out the revised version. This one is crystal clear. The backup process was canceled by the user. Oh, okay, I did that. I clicked cancel. And that little journey from total confusion to perfect clarity, that is the absolute heart of software localization. See, this is about so much more than just swapping out words. It's about turning simple translation into real, actual communication. It's about making a piece of software feel like it was made just for you, in your corner of the world. So to be clear, localization is this whole big process. It's about adapting everything. The language, sure, but also the cultural norms, and even a country's very specific legal and financial rules. It's a massive undertaking. So let's start with that first layer, the message itself. Because it's not enough for the words to be correct, they have to have the right tone, the right personality. I absolutely love this quote from the team that worked on this. This was their North Star. They didn't want the software to feel like some clunky, outdated wizard from the dial-up era. No, they wanted it to feel like a helpful, modern assistant from the future. And that one simple idea, it changes everything. And this table shows that idea in action. So you start with the English term sets of books. The old way was to do a clunky, literal translation. But to get that modern, helpful peer vibe, they just changed it to société, which means companies. It's simpler, it's way more direct, and it totally changes the feel of the whole interaction. Okay, let's go a layer deeper. Once you've got the right words, you have to put them in the right place. Words literally shape the interface and how you use it. Just take a look at this list of financial reports. On the left, a bunch of them start with the same words. To find the one you want, you have to read halfway into every single line. But watch what happens when you just flip the word order. Now the main topic, balances, is right up front. Your eyes can just scan down the list and find what you need in a split second. It's a small change with a huge impact. All right, now this is where things get really fascinating. What happens when a single letter, just one character in a language, can actually break the software? Let me tell you the curious case of the disappearing C. You know, the C with the little tail in French. This is a fantastic little detective story. So the problem was a bug. The system couldn't handle the C character in the word for French. So the developers tried a quick workaround. They just misspelled it as français. But that created an even bigger problem. The software no longer recognized it as the French language file and just switched everything back to English. The only real fix was to dive deep into the code and solve the root problem, all because of one tiny single character. And now for the deepest, most complex layer of localization. This is where software has to do more than just speak the language. It has to actually understand and obey the law of the land, especially when we're talking about finance. For instance, in France, you can't just organize your company's accounting books however you feel like it. You are required by law to use the Plan Comptable Général, or PCG. This is a legally mandated, super specific structure for all financial reporting. It's not a suggestion, it's the law. Now, that's already complicated enough for just one country. So what do you do when you need to build one single piece of software that works for dozens of countries, each with their own unique set of rules? How on earth do you create harmony out of all that legal complexity? Well, in parts of Africa, there is an incredible solution called OHADA. It's an organization that created a single, unified accounting system to harmonize business law across multiple nations. The goal was to make commerce between them simpler and way more transparent. And we're not talking about 2 or 3 countries here. This one legally mandated system is used by 17 different African nations. So if you're building software for this region, you don't build 17 different systems, you build one that deeply understands OHADA. The scale is immense, and the stakes are incredibly high. And this brings us to the danger of getting it wrong.
A critical error was discovered deep within the project notes. The software was set up to apply all those complex OHADA accounting rules to Guinea-Bissau. The only problem, as the note says, Guinea-Bissau isn't even an OHADA member state.
Now, this isn't just a typo. This is a massive mistake. Applying the wrong legal accounting framework to a country could render a company's entire financial reporting completely invalid. We're talking failed audits, fines, total legal chaos. In the world of localization, the details really are everything.
So as you can see, this is this incredible, invisible art. The journey goes from debating the tone of a single word all the way up to correctly implementing these complex, multinational legal frameworks. It's a process of nested complexities, kind of like you see here. On the outside, you have the right words and the right interface, setting the tone and making sure it's easy to use. Go deeper, you have the right code, which has to handle every linguistic detail without breaking. And at the very core of it all is the right law, the legal framework that makes sure the software functions correctly and legally all across the globe. Here's the thing. When localization is done well, you don't even notice it. It just feels right. So the next time you use a piece of software that feels effortless and totally intuitive in your own language, maybe just take a second to appreciate the enormous, invisible effort that made it all possible.